Hello everyone. So I am right in front of Center Street Bridge. There are lions on the bridge. I don't know if you guys can see that there and there. So obviously there's a statue of a lion up the hill looking at these lions, which I think is pretty cool. So anyhow, I want to apologize for the last video. Turns out that if I take the camera and I turn it this way and then this way, it just messes up the entire video, which I did not know, but now I do know. So this is more of a dog park, so you might hear dogs barking and stuff. So there are 2 to 3 reasons why I decided to record tonight. One, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp got, well, issues for a few hours. I have thoughts, can't say for sure. It's not really a superstitious thing, it's just given everything that's been going on lately, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if they're trying to track people now. They did something new to the system. I do know if I send a message, it says 3.5 hours later. So I say if I send it at 8 o'clock, it'll say 9, 10, 11, 11:30. So I'm not sure what that's all about. So there's that. I know that when it comes to social media, so Instagram, Facebook, a lot of people use it as a platform to speak the truth, to warn, to teach people, and I believe that a lot of people don't like that. So there's that. So 2 videos ago, I was way over there, and I was pretty much smack dab in the middle of the river, and that's where I got my feet wet. I had to buy me a new pair of shoes. They're very comfy. So anyhow, there is that. And I figured I would also talk about partnering with the demonic, because I said that in my last video in the sunset of the river there. But I didn't really explain what I was talking about. So ideally, primarily, if you are not doing God's will, you're doing the will of something else. It's pretty simple. So I'll give you guys a few examples. Jesus says we are known by our fruit. By your fruit you will know them. So instead of having love, I have hatred. Instead of having joy, I'm like always depressed. And depression is a tough one. I've struggled with this myself. Instead of having peace, I have frustration, anger, that kind of stuff. But to act or react based on them, that's something different. You know, there are an awful lot of helicopters flying since that C word started that I'm not going to say, or else this video is going to be like monetized and all that. So, I mean, this can be used for anything. Anything that God tells us not to do, and if we do it, we're not doing God's will. We're doing the will of something else. So, do not indulge in the flesh or satisfy the flesh. So let's say premarital sex. Okay, as an example. This is not really an accident, it's much more of a choice. Sometimes can it just happen? Well, if you put yourself in a situation where it can, yeah, it can just kind of happen. Is it good? No, of course it's not good. We're told not to do that. We're told to wait until we're married, all this stuff. It can be very difficult. But there are reasons why God tells us to do what God tells us to do. Or else He wouldn't tell us to do it or not to do it. He knows things that we don't know. I'll give you guys one example now. It's not going to come out very clear because I'm not too familiar with the passage, the location, or the verse. But there is a place either in Leviticus or Deuteronomy where God warns to not wear wool and linen at the same time. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you talk to us about this? That makes no sense. I'm gonna go for a walk, you guys. So why would God say this? Now, ironically enough, thousands upon thousands of years later, they ended up finding out that if you combine the two and you wear it, it can actually cause you to get sick. It can bring your vitamins like lower, so you start having vitamin deficiency. All kinds of crazy stuff that can actually get you super sick if you combine the two materials together and you wear it. But we didn't know that way back when. But the point is that God tells us to do and not to do certain things, and He knows what He's talking about. He knows why He's saying it. And it's very much like if I have a son, which I believe God will bless me with a son soon. If I have a son and I tell my son don't do certain things, here is why, and he doesn't understand, even if I give him a reason or I don't, I know better than he does, and I'm telling him not to because I love him, right? So the reason I'm coming here is so I could get a shot at the Calgary Tower. That's about it, unless I go down the staircase, which I'd rather not. So we really need to try to listen and obey God and His commandments, despite the fact we don't understand why He's asking us to do certain things, right? So these are all just thoughts I have, but I really believe it's important to try to obey God, even when we don't understand, because He knows the outcome. He knows that if we don't do certain things, it will lead to death. Not a physical one, but an emotional, mental, possibly spiritual one. Because all sin leads to death, right? And Jesus talks about this, and He says, whoever follows me will never see death. Some versions say will never taste death. So if you follow Jesus closely enough, you won't get depressed. You won't, have certain struggles, that kind of stuff. Because sin leads to shame, condemnation, brokenness, depression, all that. It does not satisfy. If anything, it only amplifies negative feelings, based on my experience. That is a very loud vehicle. So, all just thoughts I have, you guys, but I want to share that with you and explain a bit more. And I think that's pretty much it, really. So, just figured I'd record something here quickly. Hope you guys like the view. I'll leave it at that for now. And just because of what happened with Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and all that, I think I'm just going to try to primarily focus on doing YouTube videos. Maybe you guys can help me out here. Maybe give me some ideas of certain things you'd like to see. Now, it is starting to get cold, the leaves are falling, all that stuff, so I don't have too many options of where to go, and I got to be careful with the gas too, because sadly finance is really tight right now. So, but maybe you guys can comment some ideas for me of what you'd like to see. Where would you like me to film? Stuff like that. But anyhow, there are people coming, you guys, so I'm going to leave it at that. I hope everyone's doing well. And I will upload again whenever I can.